You guys, no one cares. And you know what? The fact that no one cares, it's a blessing. You might think, oh my God, no one cares. No one cares about me. It's a blessing that no one cares. You know why? Because that means you can do whatever the frick you want. I am usually the type of person who stays at home, watch my movies, read my books, do a lot of brain work, make videos for you guys. And so I do spend a lot of time around me and myself. But sometimes I do believe in entering into the matrix so that you realize the true power of what it means to truly just be yourself. Because when you step into the matrix, you'll realize, you know what? Things things aren't as hard as I truly think they are. People don't care as much as I think they do. The reason why we usually think people care a lot is because we are so trapped up in our own heads about everything that goes on around us. So we pick up on all of the little small things. Especially, I'm neurodivergent. So for me, like, I overanalyze situations to like the tiniest bit. And obviously, it's a blessing and it's a curse. But the other day, I went to karaoke. And I am someone, I love karaoke. I love karaoke so much, but I haven't gone in forever. I've had so much to do. I haven't gone. And then I went out, just me, myself, and I, for a little trip to karaoke. And when I arrived, and I suddenly realized how much work I'd been doing on myself because I started picking up on patterns and things around me and like rules of the world that I had never picked up on before, or that I'd only subtly picked up on before. Because one thing that I realized was that, you know what? People here are just like, is like everyone's an NPC, essentially. Like everyone's an NPC. And I mean, everyone's an NPC in your life and you're the main character. So you can do whatever you want to do. And if people react or if people want to make a big issue with whatever you want to do, then that's their problem. And you don't have to take their quest. You don't have to follow whatever they're saying. You know, it's kind of like when you're in a video game and you go up to an NPC and like you end up interacting with them. Maybe you walk into them and then they start like talking to you. Your quest hasn't been compromised just because you ended up talking to some random NPC that now wants to tell you about their backstory. And that's kind of what I felt like when I went to karaoke. It's because obviously I'm out here, I'm completely sober, and there's a bunch of people just like singing and like doing whatever they want to do. And I just realized very much, which is crazy, that it just took going out and sitting and people watching at a karaoke place to realize I really do have free will. I really like, people really do not care that much about what's going on in your life. And that's actually a blessing because that means that you could do whatever the frick you want. Isn't that amazing? It's also a little bit scary because you know what? That means that you are not tethered to any ideas about who you are that anyone may be putting onto you. But in reality, it's not them putting it onto you. It is you putting it onto yourself because you believe that other people think something of you, which means that in reality, it's actually you who think that of you. So it's actually quite freeing, but it's also kind of scary knowing that you can do whatever it is you want and you can actually live your life. You can take the chances. You can go out and you can make yourself whatever you want. It's very freeing, but it's also very scary. And I think that's the reason why usually we actually don't want to admit that we have free will. We don't want to admit that everyone is not the problem. It's actually us. We don't want to admit that we can actually do whatever we want to do. We don't want to admit we have that freedom because that means that we can actually take liberties and try out things and do things that we maybe have been telling ourselves or our subconscious mind has been telling us for a long time that we can't do. So we end up getting very, like, we overthink a lot. And that's why when we suddenly find out, okay, you know what, I can actually do whatever I want to do, it's sometimes not as much of a freeing moment as it actually is scary. We usually think about no one cares in a way where it's like, oh, no one cares about me and my life. And then again, we turn the whole no one cares into something really, really bad, while in reality it's actually pretty good, because if no one cares, that means I have so much I can just do. I can go out and I can be whoever I want to do. And if people truly care, they're spending too much time online. They're spending too much time with their head up other people's. They're spending too much time doing things that are for other people. And if they're already compromising themselves to feel some type of validation, or to feel happier, or to not worry about what they like, fulfilling their own happiness, then is that really the type of person that you should be caring about their opinion? Like, if they do care, if they truly do care, there's a big difference between like they do care, like they do make a big fuss, and then someone like they care about you, like they love you, they care. But it's like, if they care like on some, they want to burn all of the things that you're doing to the ground, they got bigger fish to fry. They got bigger problems than you got. So give them some grace and think, you know what? It's sad to think that these people don't know that they got free will. Maybe they know they have free will. Maybe they know that they can do whatever they want. Maybe they know that it doesn't matter what other people think, but they want to make that matter. They want to make that matter. That's why they're trying to be up everyone's like business, because they want to make that matter to prove something. It's a scary thought. It's a very scary thought. But you know what? I think it's interesting because, it's so funny that you can go out, you can just go out to a karaoke place and realize how much of a blessing it is that you can just go and be whoever you want to be. You can dress up your avatar, your video game character, however you want, and people will move around you how you present yourself. People, you can literally go out and say, you know what? I'm bougie, I'm rich, I have this mental attitude. I mean, obviously, you got to do a little bit of self work as well. But generally, if you develop a specific attitude, and you go out like that, head held high, no BS, that's the type of life you'll be pushed towards. So it's honestly pretty cool that no one truly really cares, because they have so much going on for themselves that the only flicker that they kind of get of your personality is the one that's going to push you in a certain direction. So, if you do go out and you do act, even if you don't really have confidence, and you do act like you have confidence, people will push you towards what's going to give you more opportunities. That's why, rejection therapy is actually really, really cool. Rejection therapy is actually a really, really good way of truly getting what you want in life, because you're not letting your inner scared thoughts hold you back. You're going out and you're actually interacting with people, putting yourself forward, even if it's literally gut-wrenching. And then the more you do it, you do realize, okay, well, you know what? No one really cares. Like, they're going to give me what I ask for because they think if I ask for it, that means that I'm entitled to it. And you might say, well, they do care. They do ask questions. Honey, those people, they don't have anything going on for themselves. They're just trying to figure you out so they can figure themselves out. But the thing is, everything starts within yourself, but a lot of people are trying to look outside themselves to find the answers for what's inside themselves. It's kind of like if you're looking to figure out what's in your birthday present and the only places you're looking is outside of your birthday present, you're not going to figure out what's in your birthday present until you look inside your birthday present. Terrible analogy, but we're gonna run with it. The reason why it's a little scary knowing that you do have the free will to choose whatever you want to create your own reality is because you no longer have a scapegoat. You no longer have a cushion. You no longer have your toxic, narcissistic ex-boyfriend to blame everything on. You no longer have your mother who doesn't really love you the way that you deserve to be loved to blame everything on. You don't have something to blame your overthinking and your behavior on. So suddenly it's only you. Suddenly it's just you. Because the thing is, if you were on a desert island and you could literally just like do whatever you wanted to do, would you be blaming your mom or your narcissistic boyfriend or ex-boyfriend or friends or whoever on you not being able to survive on that desert island? Well, my narcissistic ex-boyfriend made me feel like this, so that means that I can't go out and get coconuts from the palm tree in order for me to survive on this desert island. No. You'd be like, you know what? I gotta survive. I gotta do what I gotta do. One of my favorite analogies is the airport analogy when it comes to kind of like understanding that you need to get whatever you want to get and you need to go for it, right? And you can't care what other people think. If you're in the airport and there's like 15 minutes to boarding, your gate is 20 minutes away, and you just made it through security, you were delayed for some reason, are you going to be like, oh, I'm not going to make the plane? I'm just going to sit around. Like someone might say, oh, wow, are you sure you're going to make the plane? You know what you're going to do? You're going to run with every fiber in your body, in your being to the gate. You're going to be like, I'm going to freaking make it. You're going to be like, I'm going to freaking make this plane. No one's going to stop me. I'm going to get to the gate and I'm going to be on that plane. No one's stopping me. So when you're running late for this plane, do you care if anyone in the airport looks at you strange? Do you care if anyone is saying, wow, they're really rushing. Wow, she really got here late. Oh, wow, this and this and that. No. The only thing you care about is your end goal, which is you getting on that plane. Okay? So you run and you run and you run. You don't have time to think about what other people think about you because you have to put yourself in the position of going for what you truly want. And that's how this whole not caring what other people think works. You have to put yourself in the position where you're running for what you want. And no one in that airport is going to tell you if you stop and you try to have a conversation with someone that's saying, oh, you'll never make the plane, you are not going to make the plane. That's the exact same thing that happens when we overthink too much what other people think, and then we go back to them to have a conversation with them about what they think, and they didn't even know that that's what they were thinking, but now because you bring attention to it, now they're going to bring more attention towards that, and then you're going to have like a loop of recycling that until you realize that the plane already left. But don't worry, there's always another plane to catch. But the more you stay back and you try to have conversations with the people that are telling you you're not going to make your plane, the more expensive it's going to be for you in the long run, because you're going to have to buy another ticket and you're going to have to buy another ticket and you're going to have to buy another ticket. They say that the journey back from a place you didn't want to go, if you got on the wrong train, their journey back is going to be more and more expensive the further you go. Because of course, you're on the wrong train. It's going to be more and more expensive the further you go. If you go from New York to California, the trip back is going to be expensive. But if you only went like 2 stops, it's not going to be as expensive. It's similar, but in this case, it's just you need to understand that every time you stop and interact with, oh, this person is thinking that about me, this person is thinking that about me, and you're trying to like have a conversation with them about them thinking that about you. Like if you're interacting with your haters, if you're giving them that energy back, then that's you being stopped on your journey towards your plane. That's going to take you where you want to go. You wouldn't do that in an airport, would you? No, you wouldn't do that. Because if you're not going to run, you're not going to make your plane. So you're going to run. And you could care less what anybody thinks. You could care less if anyone's going to try to stop you and tell you, oh, you're not going to make it. So run towards your plane, okay? And this leads me to the most important part about the whole thing, that nobody cares. Nobody cares, and that means you can fail and you can fail and you can fail so much that you will win. What? You will win because you have the guts to go and fail. You have the guts to go and ask for things. You have the guts to fall and fall and fall. You know what people truly see? People don't see the run to the plane. They see the fact that you went on the plane. The person who's managing whoever boarded, they don't care if you ran towards the plane. They just know that, oh, this person is boarded or not. That's how life works. That's how people work in general. People don't care. Truly, they don't care how many times you fail. They only see you for your success. They only see you for your success. So why are you caring if they care about your failures? Because if they do care about your failures, they got nothing going on for themselves. You got to stay away from these people. If they start being really, really nice to you every time you fail, not on some, you can do it, you'll get up again, but on some, wow, I do see that it's hard for you. It's so hard. These people don't want you to get to your plane. They want to keep you in the lounge. They want to keep you in the lounge where it feels kind of comfortable, but you're never actually getting anywhere. You might, get a drink once in a while or a little food, but you're not getting anywhere. You're not actually going to your destination. You're just like sitting around talking to someone about, yeah, it is pretty hard. If you went to the airport and you had to run to the gate and you stopped and you talked to someone about, yeah, it is hard. My plane is about to leave and I don't think I'm going to make it. Why are you not running? Why are you not running? You want to talk about how hard it is? Not getting on the plane? Oh, I'm not going to make my plane. You don't have time to talk about how you're not going to make your plane. You have to go make that plane. If you want to stand and talk about how you're not going to make your plane and how sad it is for you, that's on you, boo. And that's what's going to keep you stuck. That's what usually keeps people stuck. They want to stay behind and talk to people about, oh, it's so sad for me. Everyone cares. Everyone cares about everything. Everyone this. I'm not going to make it. I'm not going to do it. I'm not this and that. Of course you're not going to make it if you're not running for your plane. People care if you make it on the plane. They don't care if you fall on the way to the plane. They don't care if you had some trouble at security. They don't care if you are literally about to poop your pants when you get on the plane. They care if you make the plane. They see you made the plane. They see that your success is your success. And then they're like, ooh, how did you get there? And then you're like, you know what? I failed so many times on the way to getting there. But I didn't stop to talk to everyone about, I'm failing. I'm failing. No, you just kept it moving. And you're like, you know what? I failed. We're going again. We're going again. We're going again. It's kind of like in a video game. Maybe you die a couple times in the video game. You got to get up again and you got to do what you got to do in order for you to make it to the next level and fight Bowser or whoever is someone you're going to fight in Mario. Super Mario. No one cares. No one cares if you are falling on the way to the top. And if they do care, that's because they got too little going on for themselves. So they want to drag you down because they can't even take the leap. The people that are also running towards the plane as you're running towards the plane, they don't care if you're running as well. They're not going to be on some, wow, you're running weird. They're just going to be like, we're running together. We're in this together. We're going to make it together. People that want more are going to be running too. They're not going to be stopping to get validation from people around you in the lounge. They said, I'm not going to make the plane. You're definitely not going to make the plane if you keep complaining. Complaining. Anyways, no one cares. And that's great. It's great news. I hope you have a great day. Thank you. Love you. Bye.